Savage. He was like the only one over there with the
Savage
way.
a fucking beast.
And he was the only one over there on the onside kick. The way the animations, he kicked that motherfucker perfect. I will say that. But Savage came up with and got that motherfucker. Like he do so much that don't all show in the stats because motherfuckers will throw one pick or he'll get one pick of deflection.
Welcome, Charm City. Here we go. We back to Baltimore, man. Again,
Then they stop.
We're going to follow our franchise mode where I'll be talking about the feature team will be the Baltimore Ravens, but we will be talking about everything that's going on in the league and what teams are doing right now. We are 9-1 in our division. We are undefeated. The next team to us are the Browns and Steelers. As you see, we in rival weekend with the Steelers. They're 5-6. We're 5, and the Browns are 5-5. They're fighting for that second place spot right now, while the Bengals still trying to figure it out. We're gonna go through our training as always. Just talk about the training, a little bit of gems for those that do pay attention. Player health is important. You got to figure out how you're gonna keep your guys healthy throughout the game and throughout the year. So we're gonna have pass split practice, and doing that, we are limiting the full amount of XPs we can get on our players because we're doing half pads. In full pads, you get maximum XP, but you also can fatigue your team out. So we stay, within half pads and within that split where we're getting everybody action right now. All right, so in our game plan, defensive choices we have is defensive deep pass. And I'm not going to pick that whatsoever. What I will do is do a full report on what they would like to do. So it gives you their first and long situation, second and long, third and long. It gives you all the things that they like to do with percentages to it. We know this team. We played them plenty of times already to know, have a feel on what they like to do. We just got to be prepared for those plays that we, the breakdown plays when it comes down to dealing with the quarterback, Wise Montana, when we're on defense, getting out the pocket, extending plays, things that he does very well. They are running their offense through two players. I would say three with the quarterback, but two with Herschel Walker in the backfield. He's up there in receptions right now. He's catching the ball a hell of a lot out of the backfield, along with Shannon Sharp at tight end. He's a monster. That's our key point. We have to stop him today. And then again, the quarterback, Wise Montana, he's starting to play really, really well. His problem is turnovers, so we want to put him in situations where he is turning the ball over, make him uncomfortable. At the same time, when he does extend plays, he also has a wild cowboy play with him where he'll throw in the coverage and things like that to try to make something happen. He allows his receivers to make plays for him, and then sometimes you're throwing bad plays in that. So we want to keep him in that, get pressure on him. We want to continue to get our defensive front four to continue to apply pressure and get sacks. We are at a low number of sacks when it comes down to team up front with the four guys up front. We have made a switch. We are going to the diaper dandy and Brian Brisset. He played really well in his last two games, but as a full-time starter, the transition happens. We lost a really big-time D tackle. That was a real problem for teams' offenses because of how good he was. He can be versatile, play DN or D tackle, especially when we're in the 3-4. So we're asking Brian Brisset as a rookie to be able to take over and do those things. So we want to see if we can continue to get Boulware back on track and get into the quarterback and Brian Brisset as well. For our tackle for losses, we are getting a lot of those from a lot of different positions. And we want to continue that, but we want to turn those tackle for losses into sacks. So that's something that we're going to key on. So when we look at the training here, what do we want to stop? Obviously, deep pass. Now, because I'll be playing his CPU, I will pick this today, deep pass, but I would never pick that. I wouldn't recommend anybody ever pick that when they playing somebody at all. Offensively, same thing. We want to check our player health. We kind of got an idea what they like to do on the defensive side of things. It's telling us to run inside. They do a lot of cover 3, 40% there, and cover 4 in second down situations, 50% there, and third and long, 100% cover 3. So this team wants to run 3 and 4 for the most part all game long. So we're going to stick to our thing, and we're going to go ahead and run inside and go there with it. If we see their defense lighten up, then we know they pick run inside as well. As far as team profile, I'm going to go to weekly game plans. Again, when you play on a computer, you can do a little bit of different things here, but I wouldn't dare try 5 sacks, is what they asked me to do. We're going to go with the 1 interception. Defensive coordinator, we want to get him on intercepting the ball twice. Offensively, we want to do something different today. We want to go throw 3 touchdown passes. Again, we're playing a computer, so that's all the way reachable. And then win a turnover battle. We can get those. We can maximize our XPs. If we get all 4 of these, we'll get 23 XP points. Staff points for our coaching staff, which will carry over into the next season. So that's what we're doing defensively. Now, when we look at matchups, I already told you who we're worrying about on their team. Offensively, we got to deal with their tight end and their running back. So that's what we're going to train for. Start our training and see what happens here. All right, now our job is to get the young guys going. We want to figure out what role can these guys play down the stretch for us. So when I go to my roster, the players we're going to be looking to deal with today will be a couple of rookies. All right, so we're going to look at no, not right this second. All right, so we hope to get Jaden Daniels in the game today. But at the running back position, we're going to do something different here. What's up, son? What time the game? We got to be there by 6? Shit. All right, cool. All right, so we're going to start Jamari Gibbs today. We're going to start Jamari Gibbs, and we're going to have him as a full-time back. So we want him in our slot. In our power back. We want him. We'll go Casey Fields power back. But we want him in our third down back spot, too. You know what? We don't. We're going to run with J.C. Fields and Jamari Gibbs today. Now, as a slot receiver, we're going to stay with Jamison Williams. And we'll start the day off in the receiver position with Tion Pitts and Angelo Griffin. Griffin being a 1, Tion being a 2. But we're going to make that switch hopefully by second, third quarter. We want to go into George Pickens. We want to continue to see his development, and Jordan Addison, the diaper dandy. We want to see their developments at the receiver position. And at tight end, today we want to work on getting, we know Chip Parker has been our tight end for the last 3 years. We moved on with the number 1 pick in Darnell Washington, but we want to be able to come out in 2 tight end sets today where we can see Chip Parker and him and Darnell Washington work together. Other than that, defensively, I think everything's already set where we want to go. All right, so Adam Anderson will be somebody that we're looking to play a lot today, along with, we want to get Juggy Seau to go to middle linebacker today. So halftime, we'll make that adjustment. In the cornerback room today, we're going to give Derek Stingley the start. All right, and at the safety position, we're going to rotate between Reed, Adams, and Ron Israel. And that strong safety, Nick Grant, the tweener. Probably figure out a way to get him on the field at slot corner today and some safety. In the kick return game, we're going to move Jamari Gibbs from the starting kick returner. We're going to go ahead and go back to Verdell this game since we're starting him at running back. And at punt returner, we'll leave Verdell there. He's been having fumble problems on kickoff and punt return, so we want to get him work before he finds his way out of Baltimore. He's on a hot seat right now. So they're the guys that we're going to be worrying about today in our game. Again, takes a little bit from the rival. Would love to be able to play the user, but shit happens. Sometimes they're not around. They just can't play. They got things going on. So we'll go from there. But before we get into the game, we got to check out, stats right now to just see where we are for our stats and awards right now. And our young guys, some of our veterans, and how they playing this year. Let's look at our offense and see where our quarterback's at. We like where he's at. Now, 4 weeks ago, he was number 5 on the list, number 4 actually on the list, and throwing interceptions. He hasn't thrown an interception since then. But we want to get that 64% higher. We want to get him to somewhere between 69 to 70%. And we got, enough games left to try to make that happen. 382 yards a game. We're not really concerned about how many passing yards he has per game. We want the percentage to be there. So we're going to put him in situations. The one thing we don't like is that he's been sacked 30 times. I would say out of those 30 sacks, 15 of them are us, getting sacked, being a dual threat quarterback. In the run game, we don't have any running back stand out. We do. Jamari Gibbs does have the most carries on the team, and we really are low in running the ball this year. We got Casey Fields with 68 carries, Anthony Iverson, the quarterback, with 43, and then J.C. Field has kind of been lingering injury all year on his ankle, so he hasn't really played too much. 15 carries. We're gonna try to get him going today though, along with Jamari Gibbs. We're not going to try to finish this season without a running back with 1,000 yards. It's something that we do take into consideration. We care about our running backs running the football. But between them all, we're just not running the ball at a high level this year. And it's getting around to getting to playoff football, so we got to get into that. Our tight end is going crazy this year, but we got to get Tion Pitts, Jamison Williams, and he's the key though. This is the guy that we want to make sure he has 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. We got 3 guys on their way to double digits. We'll have 4 at the end of it all. Saying done. Now, can we get 4 of these guys with 1,000 yards? If we're not running the ball the way we should be running the ball, then these receivers should be all with 1,000 yards. So we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4 guys to finish their season this year with at least 1,000 yards and 2 double-digit touchdowns on the offensive side of things. Defensively, again, the one number we are concerned about is the sacks right now. We don't have one guy with 10, and then it's a drop off, especially on the D line. So Peter Boulware has 5. Juggy stay out from the outside linebacker 4.5. I mean, we got DBs with more sacks than some of our D linemen right now, and that's a problem for us. So we got to fix it. With that being said, though, we do got guys with a lot of tackle for losses that are in good situations right now. With Saragusa leading the entire league with 20 right now. Keyshawn Peppers is having a great year, 52 tackles, 18 tackle for losses, and 10 sacks. I want to try to get him up going too. Ray Lewis is playing well from the linebacker. He's actually having one of his better linebacker years. 73 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 3 interceptions. He's getting to the football right now, man. There's more team football being played in Charm City right now, more than individual standouts right now. And the way the games that we're playing, how we're being played, I think the defense is doing a hell of a job. Let's go see where we rank that defensively. All right, so offensively, we're 4th in the NFL as far as offensive yards. Defensive yards, we're 9th in the NFL right now. As far as points scored, we're 4th in the NFL. And then offensively, points scored allowed, we're 7th in the NFL. So we're in the top 5. We might be outside of the top 5 defensively right now. 9th in yards, yeah, we probably outside of the top 5, especially you got a computer game against the Broncos. Where we wouldn't have been late. We wasn't late last time. Remember, it was on him, little punk. All right, this is where we standing at right now. Let's see what we got going on. Let's get these guys rocking, and we'll catch y'all at the end of the game when we show highlights. Other than that, Charm City, we out.